Tamula lise. La sula ni lamula we will do a quick test, okay? La sula. Sange chotang soge chonam la chancho pato. La sula mula tochinang. Yes, it's clear. Tarang la touch delay.
Touch delay.
Tarang la, shall we do a quick test?
Yes, sure.
La sula, please repeat after me. Sange chota soge chonam
मैं
la.
त्रिरत्न की शरण में जाता हूँ। मैं
Sange chota.
व्यक्तिगत रूप से नकारात्मकताओं को स्वीकार करता हूँ। मैं सभी प्राणियों के पुण्यों में आनंदित होता हूँ। मैं अपने हृदय में अनमोल बुद्धत्व को धारण करता हूँ। मैं बुद्ध धर्म और संघ की तब तक शरण में जाता हूँ जब तक कि मैं प्रबुद्ध ना हो जाऊं। मैं बोधिचित्त उत्पन्न करता हूँ दूसरों और अपने उद्देश्यों को पूरा करने के लिए। बोधिचित्त को उत्पन्न करने के बाद मैं सभी जीव प्राणियों को अपना अतिथि बनने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूँ।
Tarang la.
और इज इट
Tarang la,
फाइन?
thank you so much. Your voice is clear.
ओके, ग्रेट, थैंक यू।
हेलो हेलो।
Hello, Tarang la. Shall we do a quick test again, please? So, Sange chota soge chonam la chancho. Show. Tarang la, thank you so much.
डिश लगी। हेलो हेलो हेलो। हेलो की कोई ना, की कोई ना।
Lao song
Hello.
la kuido.
हेलो हेलो हेलो, क्या कोई ना, क्या कोई ना।
이거라. 야무구도. This echo도시도 이거라.
어디 초강기래샤, 초강기.
알레. 야야. 오케이.
हेलो 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 हेलो, क्या वो एको 돼야 된다?
타면도. 타면도.
됐어 어디서나 디스키.
야야.
아, 됐어.
Tashi Delay, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We will begin the session for today. First of all, Tashi Delay, everyone. And I would like to wish you all good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. To all the participants who are joining us for this very auspicious Bodhicitta day on the very auspicious occasion of Lha-bab-Due-Chen, which is Buddha's descent from the heaven. And I would also like to welcome all the participants who are joining with us via YouTube. And now, before I move on, I would like to inform you that this time, Tibet House, New Delhi, Tibet House, the culture center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, is absolutely delighted to be live streaming in 6 different languages, which are, we have Tibetan, we have Hindi, we have Ladakhi translation, we have French, Russian, and this time newly, we have Italian interpretation as well, which is done by Ms. Tiala. So first of all, I would, on behalf of everybody and on behalf of Tibet House, New Delhi, I would like to thank our interpreters, who will be doing the simultaneous interpretation while Venerable Geshe will be undertaking the Aspirational Bodhisattva pledge with us. So without further ado, I would like to give you a short overview of today's occasion, which is Lha Bab Düchen. Tibet House, New Delhi is very delighted to have you all today for this very auspicious occasion of Lha Bab Düchen, which actually corresponds to the 22nd day of the 9th lunar month in the Buddhist calendar. It is one of the most sacred Buddhist festivals celebrated to observe the Buddha's descent from Trayastrimsa heaven, heaven of 33, down to earth, having given teachings to his mother, Queen Maya Devi, and the beings in the realm of gods. It is also celebrated in other Buddhist Asian countries as well, including Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos, where it is celebrated a few weeks earlier. Well, with this, without any further ado, I would like to inform you all that today we'll be undertaking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Pledge, which will be led by none other than Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, who is the current director of Tibet House, the culture center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I'm also very delighted to inform you that I'm being joined by my colleague, our Deputy Program Coordinator, Ms. Pemba Dun, and our Nalanda Coordinator, Ms. Kamasijula as well, and the IT team as well. Well, thank you very much. And with this, I would like to request Geshe to kindly take over the session. Venerable Geshe. Geshe Singh, na?
I'll go to
Lasu Geshe.
second check.
Lasu
Sure.
Geshe. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll proceed shortly.
Okay, so basically, why we are taking a little time is that I'm requesting Mala to lead the prayers, and then there are certain requests made very suddenly. So therefore, our IT staff is helping Mala to set the internet to her laptop, and then you will see that Mala is on screen. She will lead the prayer. All this,
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, just here.
So let's begin our
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Manla, I would like to inform you that there's a short echo whenever you speak. Right.
Okay. Hear me? Kungala, Kodwe.
Lao Gishla.
Yesebdwe.
Seudu Lao Gishla.
Okay.
No.
Okay, what we do is that okay, as Kungala explained it very clearly, today corresponds to the sacred day the Buddha descended from heaven, where the Buddha went to give teachings to his mother who took birth there, who passed away when the Buddha was just about 7 days, and the mother passed away, and the mother took birth there in the heaven, and the Buddha went there to give teachings for 3 months, and at the request of the human beings on planet Earth, they requested Moggallana to kindly go and request Buddha to once again come back to the planet Earth. And on this day, after 3 months of the monsoon retreat, the Buddha spent there, then give teachings. They descended to the planet Earth. And the place where the Buddha descended is known as the Sangasya. Sangisa or Sangasya is same. So a place about like 200, I think about like 200 kilometers from Delhi. And this is a very sacred place where people go. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama was requested to give a huge public teaching organized by the local, the Buddhist there. And His Holiness twice did teachings in that place, Sangasya or Sangisa. And anybody who's interested, yes, that is one of the most important places for the Buddhist. So this is what it is, and the Buddha himself very clearly indicated that on such the sacred days, if one accumulates merit, the merit would be multiplied the 1,000-fold times. So with this mind, at Tibet House every year on this day, we make it a point to organize a body, taking the aspirational ceremony, taking the aspirational Bodhisattva vow for the public. So that is happening online, offline, both. And usually I'm there in Tibet House. It also happens online. But this time, given that I'm here in Bodh Gaya, the most of you already are aware of. And here I'm in Road Institute, an extremely beautiful this center, APMC center. And initially blessed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and started by Lama Yeshe and Lama Subrambache. And this is just the place where the Prince Siddhartha became the fully awakened one, the protector of the entire universe. So here in this land of enlightenment, so with this mind, we are all here to take the maximum advantage of our being together on this sacred day. Setting proper motivation as a part of taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow. Let us reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us as so loving, caring, and embracing. Likewise, let us reinforce the visualization of your two grandparents, all of family members, including children, and all other demons and beings with you, leaving them aside, the human beings, animals, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddess, spirits, and everyone, and those who passed away, and those who are sick and ill, and many of our friends from the Nalanda studies, be it Nalanda master's course, or Nalanda diploma course, or Nalanda certificate course, or Nalanda introductory course, and they are friends, some who are sick and ill. Somehow they are our spiritual brothers and sisters. So let us remember all of them with us. There are many of us there. For example, like recently we have Tenzin Rangdula from Czech Republic, and there are many others. So let us include all of them in our ceremony, to include them, that they're actually taking part in this program, to invoke our Buddha nature fully, that all the fears of life stops, and our happiness expands to infinity, and that one is that we're able to share this wisdom with all the dim ascension beings. So with this in mind, I request Manla to begin the prayers, and while doing the prayers, reading the verses, reading the passages, there are three ways of doing this. One, where the words flow, and second, words flow and meanings reflected, and third, words flow, meanings reflected, and the experiences invoked. And of course, of the three, the third one is the most excellent of all. But to reach that level of the third way of recitation, it requires somebody to be a very serious practitioner, and very experiences already done in the individual. But even if that is not yet happening in us, let us at least we can make the second version of reading possible, where the meanings are reflected, so the benefit will be just multiplied the several thousand times in comparison with the way only the words flow. So with this mind, let us do screen sharing, and the offline participants, you have in page 3, and the online participants, you have the screen sharing, and I request Manla to begin the recitation. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Okay. So we are not starting with the visualization anymore, right? We're going straight into the prayers. So
Yes, just
yeah, straight into the prayers. Yeah, please. So whoever is scrolling, we are starting with the prayers already. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sangye chodang soki chanamla changchupa dudang ni kyap suchi dagi jin soki pe sonamki chola penshe sangye chupasho. Sangye chodang soki chanamla changchupa dudang ni kyap suchi dagi jin soki pe sonamki chola penshe sangye chupasho. Sangye chodang soki chanamla changchupa dudang ni kyap suchi dagi jin soki pe sonamki Durla Penshe Sangye Chupasho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free from elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those having migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of the dependent origination mantra. Om Hetu Prabhava Hetu Desham Tavato Yavata Desham Jayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavata Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavata Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha. Meaning of that mantra: all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding the one to fathom this teaching, in silence I'll retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. This is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The use of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena of the nature of emptiness and selflessness, transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions shine the light of Dharma, all bewildered miseries follow. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugatan, above the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, famed are places in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, space like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Thus we like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one part of the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy few qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, deconditioned things as such. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the four of falls, be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death.
Deyathāvam gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvaha tyatha om gati gati.
Sign the whole Heart Sutra.
Yes, Manla?
Yeah, just scroll up to the start of the Heart Sutra, please. Can you hear me?
Oh, right, sure.
You're reciting the whole Heart Sutra, yes. Thank you. Yeah,
Right.
please do. So we recite the Heart Sutra, Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Aryan Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time, the Buddha was dwelling on Master Mountain, Rajagaha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aryavishvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aryavishvara. How should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aryavishvara said it to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage, daughter of the lineage, who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom, you look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in three times also manifestly, completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata hom gate gate para samgate bodhis. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aryabhiteshvara, saying, well said, the son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharipati-putra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Aryabhiteshvara, those surrounding in the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised as spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prashna Paramita Hidaya Sutra. So we recite the Hasutra mantra 7 times. Tayata Gate Samgate Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate 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 Samgate Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasam Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva Teata Om Gate Gate Aragate Arasamgate Bodhisattva. The teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed, May they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 18,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verses for training the mind by Geshe Dorji Damdul. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depth of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I proclaim my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I've discovered the jewel treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stillings of the 8 mundane concerns. And may I recognize in all things as illusion, devoid of clinging. From my 2 collections, vast as space, that have amassed from working with effort and this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. A 7-limb practice, excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of a practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions among humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future. In the worlds of 10 directions, all of you with bodies and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. And I'm confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scent of oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you victorious ones. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as mountain meru, wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you victorious ones. With transcendent offerings peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength, conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and hatred. All these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice with all the merit of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers new training and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's own third stages of awakening. All you who are my guides, please turn the supreme being of Dharma. With arms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize Parinirvana. Please stay with us for eons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated, by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, and now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Mandala offering. This ground, anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine this as a Buddha view and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. Sashi-bo Jushi May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dhamma. May I be blessed that my Dhamma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps my true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara suspiciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows to the precious Bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination to reconditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows to the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. The Foundation of All Good Qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure, direct devotion to Him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon Him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found once is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate a mind that unceasingly day and night take its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it degrades and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous must follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, it's best me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Thinking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the practical vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I've fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis for accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I've become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice and have long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from the perfect Gurus, May I enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages in the past. May I quickly attain the stage of Bodhisattva. Midsema mantra. So we recite the meaning of the mantra first, and then recite the mantra. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential and mantra 3, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy the host of demons without exception. Pankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of souls. Losandrapa at your feet and make prostrations. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Mantra Shri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroy the host of demons without exception. Crown jewel of the sages, the land of souls, those are Prabhupada to the time prostrations.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Now, Geshe.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Mala. Thank you so much. Okay. So that with the help of Mala's recitation, we have already done with the preliminary part of the practice and also the roadmap, which is the foundation of all good qualities, which is like the roadmap to attaining enlightenment. And now the actual practice, we have to walk based on the roadmap created by Lama Tsongkhapa on the foundation of all good qualities. We have to walk now. So for this, it's a metaphor how we should do the practice. So the practice consists of the 4 things. First, Shama, the practice, then renunciation, Bodhicitta, which is maintenance, and finally taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow on this sacred day of the Buddhist enlightened, the Buddhas, having descended from the heaven to the planet Earth. So with this mind, 5 minutes of shamatha meditation. 5 minutes. The most important thing is for us to remember is and that the eyes not closed and the backbone upright. Whereas you have backache problem, you are exempted. Otherwise, try to sit upright without leaning against the support. And then with the object, just count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 1. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2. This is how we the count. And meanwhile, also multitasking, visualizing a tiny white dot between nose and upper lip. So this is your focal object, and they identify the errors of meditation, primarily two errors. One is mental laxity and mental excitement. And if any of these two errors happen, apply the remedies, which is introspection and mindfulness. Okay, without any further explanation, let us do the 5 minutes of meditation. Ready? Okay, thank you. And next is renunciation. This is going to be guided meditation, and let us try best just to follow the instructions and invoke the experiences to the best you can. For this, let us invoke the blessings of all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us. And also let us reinforce the visualization of the two parents of all demons and humans with you. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce our miseries. This is not to renounce causes of miseries. Many people, they have a very naive thinking that Buddhism talks of renunciation, and renouncing happiness, good things. This is total misconception. This is naivety of our ignorance. Renunciation is to renounce the miseries, not renounce the happiness. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce causes of the miseries. For the reason that Buddha taught, he dharma hetu prabhava, hetum tisham tathagato hyavat. All phenomena arise from causes, and of course is taught by the Tathagata. And how to bring an end to these causes of the miseries is also taught by the great seer. So Buddha's teachings is to stop the miseries, not to create miseries, not to live with miseries, not to renounce the happiness, but to renounce miseries. To renounce the miseries, when you know how to renounce causes of miseries, and the causes of miseries, Buddha indicated, finally it rests on the ignorance. And the ignorance at various levels, Buddha indicated, out of these the four are very clearly taught to be directly related to our experience, the experiencing the miseries. And the four kinds of ignorance Buddha indicated responsible for our miseries is ignorance, misconceiving impermanent phenomena as permanent, ignorance, misconceiving impure things as pure, ignorance which misperceives miseries as happiness, and finally, the ignorance which misconceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood. To counteract these four misconceptions or the kinds of ignorance the Buddha taught, the first three seals and the fourth seal is indicated as a result of the practice of the first four wisdoms. With this mind, the first seal, all composite things impermanent. What is composite? What is constituted of directional material parts like atoms, electrons, protons, so forth, and what is constituted of temporal parts should necessarily be impermanent in nature. All composite things are impermanent. And impermanence is of two kinds. Impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates, and impermanent phenomena whose continuum the subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence whose continuum terminates, and subtle impermanence, which is momentariness involved. And it's so important for us to contemplate on the gross impermanence first, including the impermanence of death. And looking at the things such as the beautiful days, which we are so infatuated with. For example, like our youth, our birthday parties, beautiful days when you were a small child with least responsibility, but there's somebody there, your parents, taking the responsibility over you. Those days are gone. This impermanence. And beautiful sunset, the ocean waves that we witness, You climb the mountain, from there you see the whole valley, whole town, whole city. You just feel the vastness of the space. And there's tremendous ease there. It's all impermanent. $200 years ago, 300 years ago, 500 years ago, say 200 years ago, 300 years ago, the planet Earth, the population may be like 3 billion. Today is 8 billion human beings. 3 billion. Where are these 3 billion human beings? Then there were people of your age, younger than you, older than you, and children. There's so much expectation about their career, ambition, and so forth. And parents likewise have so much expectation from the children. And where they're now, where the expectations are met, not met, they're all gone. This is impermanence. And it's not that they're unfortunate, we are very fortunate, we are alive. It's just a matter of time. 200 years down the line in the future from today, not even a single 8 billion human beings will be alive then. That's for sure. And how many beings today will be remembered then? And each one of us, most likely, will be long forgotten. People will not even have a clue that we existed. Tell me, who was your grandfather? Some of you may have the idea. What's the name of your great-grandfather, great-grandmother? What's the name of your great-grandmother? Somebody existed as your great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandfather. And ironically, you say, oh, it might be ancestors, there was somebody. It's all like you are totally disconnected. There's no sense of affinity. And yet we feel so attached to this is my child, this is my family, and so forth. But the past ancestors, they were the ones who owned you, they were the ones who created your property. And now you are using them. And it's not because of them, but you see them as some alien beings, somebody there in the lineage of my ancestors. So this is impermanence. If you don't believe in this, just look at the huge, massive, gigantic pyramids, the beautiful archmen. What are these? These are not the decoration. These are the reminders of impermanence. These are the tombs where the bodies are kept. These are tombs. These are impermanence. So it's for these reasons that the Buddha taught, whatever gathers ends in separation. And what the youth ends with old age. Good health ends with illness, sickness. And what is born dies. This is impermanence. It's so important for us to contemplate on the impermanence of own death, so that our infatuation with the trivialities of life, indulgence, so forth, they'll all be cut to be minimized. That the time left in your hand can be used so productively that we become wiser to prepare for the future journey, to awaken the hidden treasure within us. This is the wise person's approach. So this impermanence, where the continuum terminates, the change that you see within a span of 50 years, 60 years. Some trees, you look at the trees, it requires minimum like 200, 300, 400 years to grow to this size. So how this very gross impermanence, so visible, you look at it, you see the vast expanse of time. And then that you see, you're 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, whatever your age, there's such a change that happened within the body. And this change does not happen overnight. This obvious change, gross impermanence, is possible only if the changes happen on the yearly basis. It's possible only if the changes happen on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis. hourly basis, minute by minute basis, second by second basis. Yes, and millisecond by millisecond basis. This is how all complex phenomena, they move so fast, changing millisecond by millisecond. What is meant by change on a millisecond level? Just press your stopwatch and press your timer. See how the dishes move. This is how your body is moving. We see the body is so static. We see the walls are so static. We see the Mount Everest is so static. This is the illusion created by the limitation of our sense consciousnesses. In actuality, what is a composite phenomenon should necessarily be undergoing such a momentary change on the level of the millisecond level. So fast. Yes, it's quite scary to think of that. And this is reality. This is reality. So the wise people are those who see the reality. They are referred to as the wise. And the wise people will really see the future, plan accordingly, and the tears of samsara can be stopped. So with this mind, if this is what the reality is, all composite phenomena is just so momentarily changing. It's like that we are thrown in a very fast-moving train. The faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? We don't know where this train is taking us. And who decides where the train takes us? Is the driver. If the driver is a mom or a dad, no doubt will take you to the picnic spot. But unfortunately, if the driver, either the driver is a terrorist or the driver is under the dictates of the terrorist, will only take us to the slaughterhouse. For us, while the driver is a mind, unfortunately, that mind is directed by the worst of the terrorists, worst of the contamination, which is self-grasping ignorance, complemented by self-centered attitude. Then it will only take us to miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as second seal. All contaminated things are suffering nature. What is contaminated should necessarily be suffering. On the contrary, we are deceived to see them as happiness. Suffering like what? Three kinds of suffering. Suffering, the manifest suffering, which everybody identifies as suffering, painful, undesirable. Suffering change, the mundane happiness, contaminated happiness, which the ordinary people, instead of seeing them as suffering, they see them as happiness. This is the bait which traps us in samsara to make us continuously shed tears in samsara. And the third suffering, pervasive condition suffering, which is the mastermind, to create this illusion like the bait, suffering change, so that we can continuously be dragged down to the tears of samsara, suffering. Wow, that's amazing. I never thought about the samsara like this. Samsara is just a manifestation of these three kinds of suffering. And one suffering serving the pervasive condition suffering serving as the mastermind, and the suffering change serving as the bait, the lure, and the suffering is the actual punishment which we are tormented with the sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, even the mere, you hear these labels, it creates such a fear in the mind. Yet this is reality. When will these tears stop? 2024 stopped on its own. When will these tears, the pain stop? It's very tiring and exhausting. When will they stop? They will never stop. Impermanent phenomena, one, we classify that into two. It can also be classified into three. In the impermanent phenomena, whose continuum stops invariably by 2024, nobody did anything to stop it. And second class of impermanent phenomena, whose continuum never stops, like the time never stops, although it's impermanent. And your mind, although it's impermanent, never stops. And there's a class, third class of impermanent phenomena, whose continuum never stops unless and until you put a conscious effort. What kind of conscious effort is required? Yes. For this, what kind of effort is required to determine the nature of the problem? And the Buddha identified the root of the problem is self-grasping ignorance. And the counterforce, the conscious effort required is the counterforce. Counterforce is none other than the wisdom of emptiness. What is this wisdom? This wisdom is defined as a discerning mind with the apprehension of the object tallies with reality. And what's reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal, Everything is in nature, emptiness, selflessness. Okay, today let's quickly meditate on emptiness for yourself. And here, for the retreatants, we already completed the teaching on emptiness, or meditating emptiness of self. We already completed that. And I know that here, most of the participants here are from Narendra courses, so you know how to meditate emptiness. Okay, but those who are really, really new to this, don't worry. Just try to follow the instruction as much as possible. And then even if you think you don't get anything, don't worry. No doubt it'll help us to implant very precious imprints in the mind to meditate emptiness, which is the only liberating path to liberate us from the tears of samsara. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to you, who you identify as I, like a dream that your mind is projecting it? Or no, it's so independently real there. Of course, so independently real there. This belief that the self exists, objective real, so independent real there, independent of your mind, this belief is known as self-grasping ignorance, and this is root of all the miseries. Okay. How do we know that this belief is ignorance and is not valid mind? How do we know that? To evaluate if the self-justice is objective or not, let us remember what the Buddha taught. What Nagarjuna taught in the Precious Garland. If the mirage were to be water, or not those close by the mirage see water, with a similar stolen reasoning, if this person who identified as I would exist subjectively, why don't I see the self as a go close to the object? Okay, now let's go close to the object, which is technically known as subjective personal ultimate analysis. Subjective personal ultimate analysis, just ignore whatever is not this self. You're only interested in what is seen as the objective, the existing self. Going closer, we end up seeing a thin layer of skin. Behind that, the fatty tissues. Behind that, the muscles, cartilages, whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, liver, and so forth, all these solid parts. And for element water, for liters of blood, which is pumped in and out by the heart to the different parts of the body. Element of fire, 2,600 joules of energy. In short, simply put, the body heat. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Element space, 99.99% of the body is vacuum. But it's not the self. It's not what identifies intrinsically as the self. Element of consciousness, your mind. Your mind cannot identify as a self in its ultimate analysis. In other words, the self cannot be identified as intrinsic one with this mind, because you are a male, you are a female, and the mind does not have the gender. Gender is possible purely based on the body, and also that people can see you. People cannot see your mind. So from this sense, we see that the self is not divided, but is intrinsically one with the element of consciousness. Okay. Now tell me, in the ultimate analysis, what do you see? If at all there's something there, I just see 6 elements. Now you see there are only 2 possibilities. If the self exists subjectively, there are only 2 possibilities. One is what you see as the elements, these should be the self. Or remove these 6 elements, they should be self to be identified as intrinsically different from these elements. Or tell me, which of the 6 elements are to be identified as intrinsically as the one with the self? None. If not, then go for the second alternative. See if the self to be identified as intrinsically as different from these 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements, what happens? Nothing is left there to be identified as objective self. Okay, stay experience. Now tell me, you come too close to the object, and what is the self? If the self does exist subjectively, now you've come too close to the object, you'll be able to see the self. What is the self? To my surprise, in the eyes of ultimate analysis, this self is seen to be nil. Okay, it is quite scary. So what this mind says, that the self is not there. It also means self is not there, but the self exists or not, it's not decided by the ultimate analysis. It's only decided by the conventional analysis. So what the ultimate analysis decides is whether or not things exist objectively. So when to the eyes of the ultimate analysis, when the self dissolves, is the meaning of this self not existing objectively. So which means, what is the self? Nowhere to be seen. This is indicative of the self to be empty objectively. Stay in this experience for a while. Oh, that's amazing. For some, a tinge of fear can come. For others, goosebumps can come in the body. For still others, the cold waves can flow through your body, surface of the skin. Still others, tickling sensation can arise in the body. If anything of these indications happen, you are very fortunate, very meritorious. If not, don't worry. Study more, contemplate more. No doubt you're going to have this experience eventually, and then be able to overcome the tears of samsara. Wow, that's amazing. This is so amazing, very profound practice. But what's the benefit of this? Yes. Just as the self dissolves into experience of the emptiness in my ultimate analysis, all my sorrows, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, bewilderment, confusion, all these, it's subjected to the same ultimate analysis. They're doomed to disappear, to be discovered that they're empty of objective reality, as opposed to how they appear to the self-grasping ignorance. Yes, that's true. That's amazing. Just imagine that you experience the emptiness, ultimate reality of all these things, subjecting all these miseries into this ultimate analysis. What you see in expanse of emptiness, you see all these miseries dissolved, all sorrows are transcended. This is what the Buddha indicated as the third, fourth seal, transcending sorrows, absolute peace. Okay, stay in this experience and generate a very strong aspiration. May I forever experience this emptiness, where all my sorrows are transcended. Stay in this experience for a while. This is the final understanding of deep renunciation. There are many versions of renunciation. Oh, I will renounce the miseries. I'll renounce the contaminant karmas afflictions. I'll renounce afflictive obscurations. I'll renounce self-grasping ignorance. But this is a very gross version of the renunciation. Ultimate meaning of renunciation must be in line with the experience of emptiness. That is ultimate understanding. While the other versions of renunciation, they are renunciations. They are not the renunciation, they are renunciation. But the ultimate meaning, final meaning of renunciation is to understood in the context of the emptiness experience. Okay. Slowly come out of the practice to move to the Bodhicitta practice. Okay, ready? Bodhicitta practice. This we will do, Bodhicitta practice will do based on the 4 immeasurables. And oftentimes, my friends say that this practice, the 4 immeasurables, they don't really resonate with my own thinking. It's so superficial. They're right, perfectly right. But this is the meaning of the practice. Otherwise, why do we need practice? This is the meaning of the practice. So it's like practicing music, practicing the keyboard. You press the keys, no music, only noise comes out, which is totally different from the music. But keep practicing, keep doing it over and over again in a proper way, correct information. complete information, and systematic information. And eventually, the beautiful music will come out. Likewise, do this practice over and over again, based on the correct information, complete information, and systematic information. You're bound to experience these beautiful moments of the expansion of your heart, your compassion expanding. Ready? For this Buddhist practice, let us invoke the blessings of all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. These are the beings who have actually experienced the Bodhicitta on the highest level. And also let us reinforce all the beings with us. Immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. And the causes of happiness primarily consisting of the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta and the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that they make such a courageous commitment, that the mother, after all the many years of raising children, with total hardship. Today, the eldest daughter just aged 12, and the eldest son just age 11. Two of them come to the mother, tell the mother, please take rest, you have done everything for us. And we are grown up. We know how much you love us. We are grown up. We take care of all the siblings. And the mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears, and tears well her eyes up. This is exactly what happens to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so proud, so happy to hear that you're making such a responsibility, taking all the responsibility that dear mother sentient beings on the shoulder. This happiness of pride the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel, invoke their compassion minds to stand for nectars of soothing lights towards you and all dear mother sentient beings. The mere touch the lesser nectars with the bodies of yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the dear sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sign with the relief. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consist from self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude, combination of which gives rise to inappropriate tension, gross afflictions, and the contaminant karmas, and give rise to all the miseries. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing them, make such a courageous commitment to take the responsibility of all the dear mother sentient beings on shoulder. They're so happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion minds to send for the nectars of pursuit towards you, all the sentient beings. A mere touch the lesson nectars with the bodies beings in yours washes of all the miseries and causes of miseries from sentient beings yourself. And you witness what is happening to all the different sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sign with the relief. Immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they're endowed with. May all my dear sentient beings never be separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they're endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are never separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they're endowed with. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing to making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and pride for you, this pride and happiness invoke their compassionate minds to central nectars for soothing lives towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of light nectars with the body space of yours stabilizes the happiness and the causes happiness that the beings endowed with. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all of the sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Okay, finally, the immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other dear sentient beings equally, leaving them aside. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment towards some and aversion towards others. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas, witnessing that making such a courageous commitment and they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion minds to send the nectars of soothing lights with you and ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body space yours frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion to others, instead making them abide in the great state of equanimity, embracing all other demon sentient beings equally, leaving them aside. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscoring all the 4 immeasurables is unconditional love. Abide in this unconditional for a while. Imagining that you're looking at imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with so much love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. And this unconditional love which you generate now, this is the foundation for you to generate Bodhicitta. And this Bodhicitta is a root for you to attain Buddhahood. It's so precious, amazing precious. With this precious mind of the unconditional love towards all the beings, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. With the folded hands. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mothers and sentient beings. Slowly transform this most beautiful mind in this whole universe that if generated now, bodhicitta, slowly transform this bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, horizontally sitting with the heart. It's amazing that we made such courage commitment to become Buddha, but then remember, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. I know that. I have Buddha nature within me. I'm not a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. I have a Buddha nature within me. But if this were the case, how come that it is not awakened since primordially? Yes, that's all because that thus far I'm being deceived by the true demon self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude, giving me the impression that these are the best of my friends. And today I'm disillusioned on this sacred day of the Buddha's descent from heaven to Sangha. I'm disillusioned by these two demons, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. I'm going to do everything to exterminate these two demons from my mind, that Buddha nature within me be awakened fully. What are we going to do? I'm going to introduce the most powerful remedy to overcome these two. What is the remedy? Non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. What is that like? Okay, let us quickly retrieve the meditation on the emptiness, which we did as a third of the four seals. Okay, very quickly. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does the person who you identify as I appear to you? As objectively real, or like a dream that a mind is creating it? Of course, objectively real, nothing to do with my mind. This belief is known as self-grasping ignorance, perceiving, apprehending this self as objectively real. This is self-grasping ignorance. But you know that this ignorance is just not a valid mind. To evaluate this, remember what Arjuna taught. If the mirage could be water, one knows those close by the mirage see water. But the similar to reasoning, if this self who identifies I would exist objectively, why don't I see the self as a conclusive object? So conclusive object is what is technically known as subjecting the self to analysis. But this, what you end up seeing is we just end up seeing 6 elements: element earth, water, fire, air, space, and consciousness. Now tell me, in the eyes of ultimate analysis, which means that if you come too close to object, if the self does it subjectively, it should be seen by this mind. Okay, what do you see? I just see the 6 elements in the eyes of ultimate analysis. So tell me, where is this self which is seen as intrinsically one with the parts? Intrinsic one meaning in the eyes of ultimate analysis to be seen as one with the parts, but the 6 elements, none. If none, see the self still exists as objectively intrinsically different from the past. Remove the 6 elements, what happens? Nothing is that there's a self. Now tell me, in the eyes of ultimate analysis, which means objectively, where is the self? No way to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while. And this is the discovery that I'm making. I discovered this is not what the Buddha invented, this is what the Buddha discovered. Oh, this is amazing, so precious. So this non-dual wisdom of the emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas slowly transform this most fearless mind in this entire universe to transform into a spotless, clean, thumb-size, white Vajra, vertically sitting on the moondisk at the heart. Okay, that's amazing. Now you have the Vajra moon, the blaze of the non-dual bodhicittas within the heart. This is non-dual bodhicittas. The moon is symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta to exterminate self-centered attitude. And the Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations. Yes, you are very fortunate, but don't miss to remember your parents, your children, your family members, all the dear sentient beings. Yes, they are suffering terribly because of the self-centered, self-grasping ignorance, torturing them. Yes, generate very strong compassion. to them. This compassion invokes the Vajramuni at the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one of the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one of the Vajramuni at the heart of your father, one said with each one of family members and children, on which each of the beings in your own country, in the vast ocean, with each of the creatures, trillions of creatures that exist in the oceans, from the tiniest of the unicellular organism, amoeba, to the biggest of the blue whales. In the wilderness, from the tiniest of the insects to the biggest of the elephants and so forth. And then in the other world systems, other galaxies, the huge, massive dinosaurs and so forth. All the aliens, everyone has to share the wisdom from you. That's amazing, so precious. Also, let us not forget that the Buddhist Bodhisattvas over the Sanghas, why not we invite Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be the witness to undertake the ceremony of taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow on this very sacred holy day of the Buddha's descent from the heaven to the planet Earth. So as a gesture making this request to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, that slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations, along with all demon sentient beings, to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, see if you can sit on the right knees. And offline participants, page 50. And online participants, screen sharing. Here, the Gola came to do children.
Lagishla.
Gola children, the mare, Dino Summa de Mare, the children of the much injured.
Ale, los Gishla. Lao.
Germany go down.
Los Gishla.
Okay, so offline participants, let's use the one with the 5 verses. Okay, so taking the Aspirational Bodhisattva vow, and imagine that you are a very little girl aged 4 or 5, or a little boy aged 4 or 5, and for the first time in your life, you're making a public appearance on behalf of the school. And yes, of course, you're nervous, or you're a little excited, and your parents feel so proud of what you're doing. So meanwhile, all of us, if you start to feel the pain, make sure that given that this will take a few minutes in between, if you start to feel the pain, please feel comfortable to sit in the most comfortable position. And the pain should not hamper our thought process, because thinking is the most important thing. Okay, so that imagine you as a little boy, and then your parents, whatever they leave behind, whatever they have to do that day, and to just join the audience, waving the hands to you, indicating that we are here to give you more support. We're so proud of you. is exactly what is happening to all those Bodhisattvas. They're so proud of you. As you've requested them to the guest and the witness to our taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So they actually came here to be the witness. So with this mind, this actual day, on this the sacred day of the Buddha's descent from the heaven to the planet Earth. So let us take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And let me quickly explain the first verse, followed by the last two verses. First verse, this journey of making the commitment to become Buddha, this journey is a very important journey, yet we have never undertaken this journey before. So therefore, we need incredible great support and guide, and the best of the guide and the support are the Triple Gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. And then this journey involves the road, and the road, if the road is blocked by the boulders and the boulders and the fallen trees, you cannot enter the journey. So this road is none other than your own mind, and your mind must be freed of the mental defilements. So the best way by which to remove the mental defilements effectively is by confessing the negativities. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is clear, but if the car does not have enough fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. The car is none other than your own mind. This mind must have the inner fuel of the merit and the virtues. And again, the most effective way by which to do so is I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. So third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all beings. So now that the road is clear and the car is enough fuel, what kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The last one says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. So this wholeheartedly, by remembering the meanings, we recite the three verses together. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtue of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to rescue the claims, the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentients to be my guest and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practice of enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to rescue the comes the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guest and shall engage in a delightful and excellent practice of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and to enlighten to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to rescue the comes the aims of others, myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guest and shall engage in the delightful and excellent practice of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. The next two verses, I'm going to explain it very quickly. It begins with invoking Gurus, Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And the first verse says, in the history of humanity, who succeeded in the journey, we see that 2,500 years ago, there was a prince by the name of Prince Siddhartha, and under the Bodhi tree here in Bodh Gaya, we are here in Bodh Gaya, under the Bodhi tree, in Bodh Gaya on the diamond throne. And this Prince Siddhartha succeeded his journey by awakening the hidden treasure within him completely. So, and thereby, now, even after 2,500 years ago, we see that millions and trillions of beings are benefited from the attaining full enlightenment. But this is how it happened. So I'll also follow his footsteps. How did he succeed? He succeeded by creating two factors. The first factor is he generated very strong motivation, Bodhicitta, to become Buddha. And then to materialize this aspiration, he created the second factor, that is engaged in Buddhist practices to make this Bodhicitta aspiration come true. So if this is how he succeeded in this accomplishment journey, I will also follow his footsteps. Also create two factors. I'll also generate very strong Buddhist commitment, and likewise to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage in the Buddhist practices. So with this in mind, let us recite the following two verses by contemplating on meanings. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated Mother Bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lha-bab-Due-Chen, two successful final Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated Mother Bodhicitta, and just as the successful dwell in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lha-bab-Due-Chen, two successful final Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please behave to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta and Lha-bab-Due-Chen, two successful final Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspirational Bodhisattva vow. We are indeed extremely meritorious that we are able to take this aspirational Bodhisattva vow on this very, very holy sacred day of the Buddha's descent from heaven to the planet Earth. So no doubt we have taken so much merit. In fact, the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, which is what we are doing, just imagine that your mother, after all so many years of receiving complete school principle, then today, seeing the principal as God, the teachers coming to his mother is so apprehensive. Again, what kind of complaint? This time the principal says, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? That your daughter and your son, they are appointed as the best of the students of the school for this year. The mother could not believe that this will ever happen. And today it happened. She couldn't believe her eyes and ears. And her eyes, just wells up with tears of joy. This is exactly what happens to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're so proud of us today. So in fact, since time immemorial till today, they wish that we shun the non-virtuous comments, non-virtuous the thoughts or the afflictions, and thereby be freed from the miseries. On the contrary, we've been chasing after these non-virtues and be constantly having to shed tears, suffer a lot. And likewise, they only wish that we embrace the virtues and we experience abundance of happiness. On the contrary, we damage, we destroy our own virtues and forever remain deprived of the happiness. And today what it did is something very different, unexpected. They're extremely proud of you over having taken the aspirational Bodhisattva vow on this very holy day, sacred day. This pride and happiness the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel invoke the Vajramuni at their hearts in the full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. And these replicas, infinite number of the Vajramuni from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualize at your heart, thereby become a non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the Vajramunis from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, infinite in number, they descend to merge with one that you visualize the heart of the mother and heart of the father, and heart of each of the beings, each of your family members, each of your children, each of the beings, human beings, animals, insects, Holy Ghost, God and Goddess, spirits, everyone in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, the vast expanse of the oceans, the wilderness, all the creatures, and all the beings in the entire universe. They become non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. This is amazing. It's so precious. This is the best way by which to repay the kindness for all your dear sentient beings. And today you did it. And for all the offerings to be made to Buddhist Bodhisattvas, Buddha made it very clear. One moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems and offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were the case, what I mentioned of our having taken the aspirational Bodhisattva vow, so you have made the greatest of offerings to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas today. And your life, there's nothing greater that you can do to be of service to yourself, to give meaning to your life. And today you have given this meaning to your life. It's so precious. All these wonders are happening because of the blessings of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As you just think of all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, there is once more stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay. I'm going to now change the screen. The next page. Tinjula King the Mosdishejua. Timare Tanji the Jedarman Yore, Mola.
Low. Lagishla.
Tanji the Jedarman, Tanded Man,
La Sugishla.
the other the Dara. There's too much the monarchy. Okay. So with this now on page 51, I think, for the offline participants. So this is so meritorious, the chance. Each one of us able to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow on this day. And this is, as I said earlier, this is the greatest offering that can make, that will truly delight, that truly delights all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And today you did it. And you're able to do this practice today, but what about in the future lives? So that we need to make it happen through 2 ways. One, in this life, try best to practice as much as possible, and then also including in form of very powerful prayer. So this prayer is for us to be connected with the same teaching of Bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness, so that the journey is going to be, the momentum of the journey is not interrupted. Gade bara, somewhere happens very smoothly till Buddhahood, for the benefit of yourself and for the benefit of all different sentient beings. So with this in mind, let's recite this verse together wholeheartedly. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 rational Bodhicitta civil across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 rational Bodhicitta civil across my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassion of Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 rational Bodhicitta civil across my life. Then next, not only that we connect with these 2 teachings in the future lifetimes, but that we engage in the Dhamma very rigorously, we engage in practice of Bodhicitta very rigorously, that the momentum actually is maintained, not only maintained, but the acceleration happens. For that, we need to conjoin the joy with the teaching of the Bodhicitta wisdom and emptiness. When the joy is incorporated, then just a mere word that you hear, there's somebody uttering the word Bodhicitta, somebody uttering the word wisdom and emptiness, there's your joy coming in you. That joy will make sure that your journey is going to be extremely swift and very effective and very powerfully, and very powerfully along with in line with the household mantra. So together, in order to further increase the Bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have listened to cease and awakened the mind of Bodhicitta in this way should only praise in the following manner. Today, my life has gone through by having obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now one of Buddha's children. Those whatever actions do from now on must be in accordance with the family. Never shall the disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence, an awakened mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the serpent of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that lives in the soul of the world. It is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease. It is a tree that shatters all beings wandering entirely on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal grace that leads to freedom from inhibitions of earth. It is the dawning of the mind that expels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is a great sun that finally removes the mysticness of the world. It is a constant butter from the journey to the middle of Dharma. For all those guys traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this was a joy, and I shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temper and ultimate delight. May God's demigods of all be joyful. Bodhisattva prayer. That no doubt that we have accumulated so much of merit today by taking the aspect of the vow. And I remember that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, seems like it was the recorded yesterday, that His Holiness was having the online, the blessing and present to the talk address to a group. So the His Holiness was saying that tomorrow, which means today, on this day when the Buddha, the Lha Bab Düchen, that is Buddha descended from heaven to planet Earth. So that day we are going to take the Aspirational Bodhisattva. This is what His Holiness said, and today we took it. So that fulfills this exactly what His Holiness, and all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas still want, and this actually happened today, and you're all part of that. So this greatest offering to His Holiness, and the offerings which makes this enlightened Master Buddhist Bodhisattvas happy, the offerings, only thing that can make them happy is that if you do virtue, that is what makes His Holiness the happiest. And there's nothing really virtue than what we today that will make His Holiness happy. This happiness will guarantee that His Holiness will have a long, long, long life. And where His Holiness, His Holiness presence exists, the whole universe will benefit. So let's pray that the merit that we accumulated collectively today be dedicated with the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and that His wishes be fulfilled spontaneously, and particularly the wishes in the form of the most important wish that His Holiness has is the spread of the secular ethics for the world, spread of secular ethics today taking the shape of sea learning, social, emotional, ethical learning. Let's pray that spreads everywhere in the corner of the whole world, and that eventually, let's pray that UNO wakes up to pick this, to identify this as a very important program to be introduced in the entire schools, colleges, university institutes in the world, everywhere. And let's also pray that all the complications happening in the world, the misunderstanding amongst the nations, wars, the domestic violence, underground problems, all these problems, what is happening, may all subside, and the illnesses, and they all subside, and all the problems that people go through, they subside, and that the common sense and the compassion, universal compassion, may, in other words, the teaching of Bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, is to grow in the minds of all sentient beings. And let's pray that this teaching of Bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness thrive whatever centers they are, which works on the spreading these two teachings. May they thrive in the activity of study, reflection, meditation, and that the people who volunteer there, who are working there, they have long life, their Dharma practice be very successful. So with this mind, let us follow the derivation verses together. I dedicate the marriage that's gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to upholding the doctrine of scripture and insight, in all my lives through the force of this marriage, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, Bodhicitta, perfect the two stations. From my two collections, past the space that I've amassed, from working with the effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind, space, minds, landed. Okay, let's recite the Tibet House together. If you have the, and then I'll recite it. We just show the screen, do the screen sharing. Tibet House, the Buddha chant.
Audio the audio.
Just share the do the screen sharing. Okay, now that we all know how to chant this, we'll chant this together. Praise to Buddha Shakyamuni. Today, the holy day associated with the Buddha's deeds.
Om Mune Mune Mahamona Swaha. 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 Okay, thank you, all of you. Thank you. And so now, for many of you, this is early morning. For some of you, this afternoon. Some of you, this evening. And tomorrow, this group, the retreat, Bodhicitta retreat group, here at Root Institute in Bodh Gaya, we're going for pilgrimage tomorrow to Rajgir, where the Buddha taught the Heart Sutra. We're going to recite the Heart Sutra there. We're going to take Aspirational Bodhisattva out there. Also, that we go to the Nalanda, erstwhile Nalanda University, and the students, some of the students from the current Nalanda University, they're going to join us in the erstwhile Nalanda University space there. We're going to do a teaching on Adi Nagarjuna's the Fundamental Wisdom of Middle Way, chapter 24, examining the Four Noble Truths to see whether or not Four Noble Truths exist intrinsically. And so this is what we're going to do tomorrow. And all the participants, both the offline, we're going to go together, and online participants, you can also include yourself in these prayers. Just imagine that you are there. You'll be there in Rajgir and in Nalanda, and you are doing this till the Aspirational Bodhisattva with us. So that way, you'll be a part of a group for the benefit of all sentient beings, for the honor of His Holiness, and for everyone. Okay, take care. And just see if you are more free, you can recite the Buddha mantra more, Om Mani Mani Mahamana more, as well as the essence of dependent origin mantra and the Bodhicitta verse and the wisdom verse more. That'll be very, very good. Okay, good. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much, Venerable Geshe. Well, on behalf of all the participants who have joined with us via Zoom and YouTube, I would like to take this very opportunity to thank Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul for his very wise words of wisdom and compassion, and always guiding us to the very stage of enlightenment and to generate the Bodhicitta we have. Well, before I conclude, I would like to make two special announcements. And I request all the participants to kindly see the screen sharing. Well, the first announcement is regarding the 30th batch of Tibetan language course. Tibet House, New Delhi is absolutely delighted to inform you all about the registration, ongoing registration for the 30th batch of Tibetan language course. And as you can see, the registration date starts from 15 October 2025, and the due date will be 16 November 2025. And I request all the participants, those whoever has any queries regarding the language course, I request all of you to kindly reach us via email, programs@tibethouse.in, or you may also check our website. And the second announcement, as in celebration of 2025 as the Year of Compassion, and to commemorate the very 90th birth anniversary of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tibet House, the culture center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi, is pleased to inform you all that it is organizing a one-day conference on neuroscience of mental experience and psychological perspective of compassion and altruism, which is the 10th series of neuroscience and psychology. And it is on Sunday, 23rd November 2025. And the venue will be Gulmohar Hall, India Habitat Center, New Delhi. And I would like to inform you that the registration for this conference is going on. So those whoever are interested in this event, I would request you all to kindly scan the QR code on the poster, or you may also check with us via programs at tibethouse.in or pc@tibethouse.in. Well, that's it for the announcement. Right. And with this, I would like to thank all the participants for joining us virtually on this very auspicious occasion of Lha Bab Düchen. And also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our director, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, for taking the very responsibility and leading us to undertake the very ceremony of aspirational Bodhisattva pledge. Well, thank you very much, Geshe. And I would also like to thank all the online participants who has joined with us today. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
3 prostrations together.
Yes, Geshe.
Thank you, Kishida. Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you, everyone.
Geshe-la, thank you. Everyone.
Thank you.
Connect to
Thank
all
you.
Daya.
Thank you,
Thank
Gisela.
you,
Thank
Geshe-la.
you, Tibet
Geshe-la,
House.
Thank
thank
you,
you, Tibet
Geshe-la.
House.
Gisela, Tuchina, Tibet
Thank you,
House.
Geshe-la.
Thank you.
Sinjanangbo,
Thank you, Gisela.
Sumajali,
Thank you, Tibet House.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Tibet House.
Everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Tibet House. Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Cutting
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Gisela.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Geshe-la.
Gisela. Thank you,
Thank you,
Tibet
Geshe-la.
House.
Jai Geshe-la,
Thank
Jai
you, Tibet House.
Geshe-la. Good
Thank
night,
you.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Adipati. Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Geshe-la, Tibet House. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Recording stopped. Thank you, Tibet
Thank you.
House. Thank you, everyone.
Gisela, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Grazie da Italia.
Grazie, grazie.
Gracias de España.